Right, before I start work out here, I've got weeding to do, I've got seed pots to pull, I've got plants to plant, and God knows what else. I think I'll just tell a short story about when I was living in Sydney in the 70s. I was a member of a rifle club, shot bull bore shooting at Long Bay Rifle Range in Sydney, and we had a lot of interesting people in that club, and one of them, Jack is his real name, won't say his last name. It came up one evening. What we used to do after we shot for the day and we go back to the clubhouse and have a few beers, somebody asked him about his military service. And Jack was in Malaya when the Japanese invaded in World War II and was shot a few times and went down, and he was listed as missing in action. I think it was probably 42 when that happened, I'm not sure. Anyway, Jack survived that, but he was incarcerated by the Japanese in Penang, where they tortured him, and he had all sorts of bad things done to him, and he finished up on the Thai railway and the bridge over the River Kwai, working on that as slave labour. Anyway, Jack survived that, and the conversation came about is that evening somebody else who was also a veteran asked him about his military service, and he put his survival down to Weary Dunlop, an Australian doctor that managed to keep him alive with virtually no medicine. And at the end of the war he was repatriated to a hospital in Singapore. And this is where it gets really serendipitous. Another friend of mine who was also a member of the same rifle club, it was his mother that nursed Jack back to health. And now it gets even more interesting, because his family was told he was missing in action, presumed dead. And on Christmas Day 1946, Jack knocked on the door of his family home. To absolute amazement of his family, that he was not only alive, he was fit and well. And I think it's one of the greatest stories I've ever heard of a man that went through a lot of hell for probably 4 years and managed to get back home. Jack, he was a fantastic rifle shot. He was a good man. He raced motorbikes. He had a lovely wife. They had no children. I don't know the reason for that. I don't know. But anyway, that's just the story of Jack, a survivor being a prisoner of war. And the coincidences of the people in that rifle club, I mean, how do you put something on that? I mean, the chances of not only meeting up with him, hearing his story, and also that another member of the rifle club mother was the one that nursed him back to health. And he knocked on his family door home on Christmas Day 1946 when he finally got back to Australia. So that's today's story, and then I'll get on with the work I've got to do out here.